What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream. So, in today's live stream, I'm gonna be doing an NBA mock draft before the draft starts. It's as you know, it is a week away, and that is gonna be a very important draft. There's a lot of great players in this draft, and unfortunately, I hate to say this. Unfortunately, the New York Knicks are your 2026 NBA champions. And to be honest, it's about time, right? 53 years without a title for the New York Knicks. And, it sucks to see it happen, but, they really played well throughout these playoffs. And, you know, we'll just have to live with the fact that they won the title. I know it sucks, but, yeah. Hopefully that doesn't happen for a very long time. But yeah, the Knicks are the 2026 champions, and yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say that they didn't deserve it. I can't be biased or anything because I'm a Sixers fan, and yes, I do not like the Knicks. But yeah, that's enough talking about the Knicks. That's enough talking about them. Let's get into our 2026 NBA mock draft. This should be a good one. We have a lot of great players to get through for this draft. Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications so you won't miss out on any exciting new uploads that I make. Make sure to like this live stream if you enjoy. So let's get started. First, we got a little cherry Pepsi today. No Mountain Dew. Usually I have Mountain Dew, but today I'm going with the cherry Pepsi. Okay. And let's begin the mock draft. What is up, Brittany? Welcome into the live stream. So, let's get started. For this mock draft, I got my papers here that I'm going to be going through today. Let's start with the number one pick and who I think will take it at number one. I think all you guys will agree with me on this one. But the number one pick will belong to the Washington Wizards, and I believe they will indeed take AJ Dibansa. That is who I'm going with. What is up, Raul? Welcome into the live stream. So, AJ Dibansa is who I'm going with. Now, he's got the defensive talent, the efficient scoring, the elite finishing. That is the key of what AJ Dibansa's game is all about. And the Wizards do need talent right now. As you can see, they're in kind of a pickle right now. They are not. They have been very bad these past few years, and they need something to get them back to a playoff side. And they have Trae Young on their team. They have, and I'm not saying Trae Young and Anthony Davis like everyone else is saying. Trae Young and Alex Sarr is the duo. Okay, Trae Young and Alex Sarr. But yeah, I think they still need that talent. But AJ Dibansa, I'm happy for the Wizards that they got the number one pick. Let's go over some of AJ Dibansa's stats, and I'm not going to go through too much of the stats for the next players like towards the end of this. I'm just going to really do a breakdown of the players that are getting picked like first, second, and third and stuff like that. But AJ Dibansa, his stats, he's played 35 games this past season. He's played on average at 34 minutes and 48 seconds. He's averaged 25.5 points per game, 6.8 rebounds per game, 3.7 assists, 0.3 blocks, 1.1 steals. He has 3.1 turnovers. That's a lot. 51% field goal percentage, 77.4% free throw percentage, 33.1% 3-point percentage. So I do see. All right, that's fine, Raul. Thanks for stopping by. So, I do see some weaknesses, for the the for AJ to answer the number one pick. You do see weaknesses there. The turnovers that needs to be lower. That cannot happen. 3.1 turnovers per game. That cannot happen. 51% is really good, but 33.1% from three, that's bad. That needs to be sorted. But everything else, pretty much, you're seeing good quality from AJ Dybantsa. And like I said, his 3-point shooting is not the key to his game. His efficient scoring, his defense, his elite finishing, that was what I was talking about. That is what is his big keys to his game, and that is what AJ Dybantsa will be drafted by the Washington Wizards for, not for his 3-point shooting. They already have 3-point shooters like Trae Young, like I just said. Now, I don't think Trae Young will be a long-term option for Washington, but for the time being, for the short term, I think that will be 3-point option. But AJ Dybantsa will not be here for that. He will be strictly for the defense and the efficient scoring and elite finishing. Next up, number 2, Utah Jazz. I think they will select Darren Peterson. That is who I think they'll select. They need somebody who's a good scorer, a good defender, mainly active hands. He averages 1.4 steals per game. And I forgot to say, but AJ Dybantsa, he is from BYU, and he's a small forward. Now, Darren Peterson, he was from Kansas, and he's a point guard / shooting guard. So, here's the thing with Darren Peterson. So Darren Peterson is perfect for the Jazz just because the Jazz have so much front court depth. They have Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, Jaren Jackson Jr., Kyle Filipowski. They have a lot of front court depth. And unfortunately for Utah, they just keep getting stacked with the injuries. But a good backcourt option with Keontae George to have, like Darren Peterson, will be good for the Utah Jazz. I do believe that. Hello, Raj. Welcome into the live stream. So, number 3 pick, and yeah, I went over Darren Peterson, and I went over him. So we're gonna move on, I think. And Darren Peterson does average 20.2 points per game this past season with Kansas, so that's good. 3, Memphis Grizzlies. I think they will be the ones to select Cam Boozer, because he is a machine. I think he is a very strong player. 22.5 points per game, 10.2 rebounds, 55.6% from the field, 39.1% from three. Just a great option from Duke, and he's a power forward. The Grizzlies do need like somebody, small forward, power forward type player on their team. I think they are lacking that kind of position a little bit. They have Cedric Howard in the backcourt, and we'll see what happens with Ja Morant in the future. I don't know if he'll be traded. I don't know what will happen to him. I don't know if he'll retire even. Zach Edey obviously is the Grizzlies' big center that they're very eager about. But Cam Boozer will be a great pick for Memphis, and I just think they're very lucky to get the 3rd pick. I think that's great for them. Number 4, I think the Chicago Bulls will select Caleb Wilson. Now, this is just going by the projected draft so far. I haven't even had a shocker yet. But the efficient rebounding, defending. That is great for the Bulls, and they'll have a small forward / power forward option as well. The Bulls stacked in the backcourt as well. They have Josh Giddey, Rob Dillingham, Mac McClung. They have a lot of great options for their backcourt. And by the way, Mac McClung is underrated. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He is an underrated player. He's not just known for his dunks. He can do other things as a player, and people need to give him a chance as well. But Caleb Wilson, he'll be a great option for the Bulls, I believe. Yeah, I think the Bulls are already in a rebuilding process right now. I talked about it. You could check out my live stream where I did talk about the Chicago Bulls and how they went on that big 12-game losing streak or whatever it was towards the end of the last season to this past season, and how they're really just trying to rebuild their team. But getting number 4 pick was great for Chicago, and Caleb Wilson, I think, will be their player that they'll be looking at. If Cameron Boozer somehow drops to them, then I could definitely see them picking Cam Boozer as well. So we'll see. And he comes from the University of North Carolina. So, and a small forward / power forward for them. Fifth pick, the Los Angeles Clippers. I am so happy for Los Angeles Clippers because they weren't expected to get a pick because, obviously their 12th pick is the Thunder's pick because of that ridiculous trade by trading Shea and having Paul George in like 6 or 7. Oh, I fell into that trap. It's the 6-7 trend. But 6 or 7 picks that the Thunder received from the Clippers. But the Clippers, luckily, are trying to fix it a little bit as they get the number 5 pick in the draft. Pacers, if they went top 4, then they would have gotten their pick, or if they got under the 9th, they would have kept their pick. But if they finished between 5 or 9, which they did, they finished 5th, the best possible outcome for the Clippers, then they would lose their pick to the Clippers. So that's what happened. The Clippers, I think they'll go lower. I think they'll do some digging. I don't think they take the next best options. I actually think they take Ade Mara. That's my big surprise. I think they'll take Ade Mara for the reason I think the Clippers have a lack of the front court options. Kawhi Leonard is obviously plays power forward sometimes, but imagine having Brook Lopez as your starting center, 38-year-old washed Brook Lopez as your starting center with Yannick Niederhauser injured as well. We don't know when he's going to come back. It does seem like he had a very brutal injury that was sustained to him. And Ade Mara, let's talk about him. The 7'4" giant, great shot blocker and rebounder. He averages 2.6 blocks per game this past season, 66.1% from the field from Michigan, and obviously he's a center, and I think that will be great for the Clippers. I think when I looked at this, Ade Mara was projected to go 11th, but I think the Clippers at the 5th pick will go down, and I think they will take Ade Mara as their center for the team. Okay. We have 9 people in right now. And like I said, make sure if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I am on the road to 500 subscribers, so I could use your guys' help to get me there. I appreciate you guys, as always, for being on here. And if you guys didn't know, I'm off to Seattle tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that. I will definitely post a lot of stuff while I'm there and show you guys my time there. So let's get into the next little bit of picks I'm going to be going over. Number 6, the pick will go to the Brooklyn Nets, and I think that they will select Darius Acuff Jr. Because the fact that the Nets are ranked among the bottom teams in 3-point shooting, and Darius Acuff Jr. is a 44% 3-point shooter. He's a good 3-point shooter for them, and I think that's what the Nets are going to be looking for. They have the defensive talent, I think, which is why I don't think they'll take this next guy that I'll talk about, but they'll want the better 3-point shooter, I think, and the next best point guard available, arguably coming from Arkansas College, and that's why I think the Nets will take Darius Acuff Jr. They would probably look for a center, maybe, or like just a nice winger option, but ultimately I think they will just take the next best point guard in Darius Acuff Jr. But number 7 pick, I think Sacramento Kings will take Kingston Flemings, which is the better defensive player than 3-point shooter. Kings are not a good 3-point shooting team as well, but their defense is bad as well. The Nets have a pretty decent defense for being as bad as they are, but the Nets are bad at 3-point shooting, so they will look for Darius Acuff Jr., I believe. But Kingston Flemings, he will provide a great defensive role for the Sacramento Kings, averaging 1.5 steals per game, coming from Houston. Another point guard to add to this. There's a lot of point guards in this draft. Not seeing very many center options until you get later into this draft, but like I said, the Nets will be in search for the better 3-point shooting option, but the Kings will focus on the better defensive option, I think. Defensive point guard. That's where I think this one will go. I could be wrong. You guys can let me know what you guys think. But I think Sacramento takes Kingston Flemings from Houston. And that's why I believe will happen. So we'll move on now to number 8 pick, the Atlanta Hawks. I think they'll select Keaton Wagler, which a lot of people expected. A lot of people expected for the Clippers to take Keaton Wagler, but I think he'll fall a little bit. We'll see how I don't know if Keaton Wagler's defense will be what the Clippers are looking for in a player, but the Hawks, I think they'll take Keaton Wagler because they already have Dyson Daniels as a great defender for their team that will play like a shooting guard, small forward kind of role. But Keaton Wagler is a great playmaker for this team that will kind of take over, kind of help because, their playmaking for the Hawks is already good, but when they lost Trey, it wasn't as good. And I think Keaton Wagler will bring that back up. Coming from Tennessee, he's a small forward, averaging, he's just a good playmaker. That's really what he's about. The scoring is also really good from Keaton Wagler. What is up, GYU 00001? Welcome into the live stream. So, that's why I think the Hawks will take Keaton Wagler, especially because Dyson Daniels is a 18% 3-point shooter. Keaton Wagler could definitely help out with that. Ninth pick. I think the ninth pick from the Dallas Mavericks will be Brandon Burries. That is who I think they will take. A good backcourt option again. Again, there's a lot of great point guards / shooting guards in this draft, and I think Kyrie will be back for the Mavericks, but we don't know if Kyrie Irving will be a long-term option for the Mavericks, and they'll need a guard to pair with Cooper Flagg in the future. I know Cooper Flagg has played point guard, which I think is wild, but yeah, but we should see what the future holds. And Brandon Burries will probably not start for the Mavericks anyway. He'll probably come off the bench. Like I said, we will see. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, that's why he comes from Arizona, which I'm surprised that we didn't have like a great Arizona player at like the top 3 or something because of how good Arizona were this season. But Brandon Burries will provide that 3-point shooting spark that the Mavericks will need, I think, because the Mavericks 3-point shooting is not that great. So yeah, that's why I think that will happen. Number 10 pick, I think the Milwaukee Bucks will select Mikael Brown Jr. And this is for this reason. The playmaking abilities, I think, will be the point that the Bucks will try to get a good playmaker in this draft. And I think Mikael Brown Jr. might be the best playmaker in this draft. And they need somebody to pair with Giannis. Now, I don't know if Giannis is going to leave the Bucks. I don't know if he's going to stay. We have to find that out. But if Giannis does stay, need a nice guard to pair with Giannis. I think Giannis never really had that stable guard that to like play with. Like I feel like he has a different guard that he's playing with every single year. So yeah, like even when he won the title with Drew Holiday as the point guard, Drew Holiday was gone in like 2 years. So yeah, but I think they'll need like a nice stable guard to pair with Giannis, and maybe the Bucks could turn around. Who knows? Maybe they can get back to that title contending side that they have been for in recent years. So yeah, he comes from Louisville. And he is a point guard. Again, another point guard. Jeez. We're getting a lot of point guards. Oh, my goodness. All right. So, next up, we will go to 11th pick. I think the Golden State Warriors at the 11th pick that they get, they will select Nate Clement. That is who I think they will select. They'll need a nice center because the Warriors do lack a lot of size in that position. I think Draymond Green is really their best option that would probably play center, and I think Nate Clement will be a good option for the Warriors. Not too sure how his efficiency will be, but his shot creating, I think, maybe, and his rebounding. So yeah, I think Nate Clement will be a good option for the Warriors. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, that's it. I am excited to watch the draft. I'll be honest with you guys. I am excited to watch the draft, and that is going to be fun. Let me know if you guys want to see me go live for the draft. I definitely think I want to go live for the first night, at least, of the NBA draft. So if you guys want to see that, let me know. And Nate Clement. Let me make sure I put. I'm not too sure if I put the right info of Nate Clement on here. Let me just make sure I did. No, I got him. Oh, it's not Nate Clement. It's Nate Ament. My bad. But Nate Ament will be a good option for the Warriors. Good, a big guy kind of player. Not even a center. Maybe a small forward, power forward option. I think will be good for the Warriors. Comes from University of Tennessee. And yeah, I think Nate Clement will do good with the Warriors. Next up, number 12 pick. I think the OKC Thunder will select Yaxel Landeborg. Now, his court vision and defense will really, but the Thunder, they really don't lack much to do. The Thunder are good as a team, like everywhere, at anything. The Thunder are just a really good team, both ways, and it really doesn't matter who they pick. It's just another good for depth for them, and good to give their starters rest. Yaxel Landenberg would definitely be another option. He averaged 1.2 blocks and 1.1 steals. So, and he comes from Michigan College, and he is a power forward. So, and yet maybe if Chet Holmgren plays that way they did in Game 7 against the Spurs next season, then maybe Chet Holmgren will be going to the G League while Yaxel Landenberg takes over. Okay, we're getting to our next set of picks. Number 13 pick, I think will be picked by the Miami Heat, and I think they will take LeBaron Dillon Jr. That is who I think they will pick at that option. I think his scoring plus his playmaking will help because Miami offense has gotten better through the years, but they'll still need that good option, point guard option. They have a lot of front court depth. Bam Adebayo, Jamie Jaquez Jr., Khalil Ware, and I think they lack some backcourt depth. I think this will be good, like sixth man option for Tyler Hero. With the Baron Jr. will come off the bench as their backup point guard, especially because Terry Rozier's in a lot of trouble, as you guys know. But LeBaron Jr. will definitely be the backup point guard for Miami if they decide to pick him. Oh, and I know people are going to be using his name. They're going to be like, it's not LeBaron, it's LeBaron. That's probably what they're going to be saying about his name. But yeah, he averaged 22 points and 5 assists this past year with Alabama. So why not take him? Heat, what are you waiting for? 14th pick, I think the Charlotte Hornets will select Merez Johnson Jr., I think. Now, I've heard rumors that my Sixers would be interested in him, but the Sixers don't need another center. They don't need another center option. Merez Johnson Jr. Is a great rebounder, great efficient player, and shot blocker. He's averaged 7.3 rebounds this past year with Michigan, 1.1 blocks, and 62.3% from the field. The Hornets definitely need some front court threats. They have a lot of backcourt depth. I mean, LaMelo Ball, Concanoople. That's their backcourt. And they will probably be looking for like a nice backup option for the team. But I just feel like the Hornets don't have that stable center in for their team. I think they need a good young talented center that will just give you that energy every game, and also provide good defense as well, because the Hornets will be looking to work on the defense even more as well. 15th pick, I think the Chicago Bulls will select a power forward / center as well. I think they select Chris Sinek Jr., which will be probably the next best power forward and center option. And that will shock you guys a lot, because when I looked at the projected picks, Chris Sinek Jr. was selected was probably going to be 20th pick by the Spurs, but I think Chris Sinek Jr. will be taken by the Chicago Bulls. They will, and he comes from Houston, a good rebounder and finisher. The Bulls definitely need to work on their rebounding. And like I said, I just think they have a lot of backcourt talent. They don't have a stable center on their team that has been a consistent center that they use for like the past few years. When you're a team, you just want, like the Spurs, for example. With the Spurs, you know that the center for the Spurs will be Victor Wembanyama for years to come. That is going to be their stable center option. That is a complete team that they have. But the Bulls just have like a new center every year, and they're constantly trying to rotate stuff. So Chris Sinek Jr. will be that next power forward / center for the Bulls, I think. And yeah, the Bulls need it, so why not take him? 16th pick, Memphis Grizzlies. I think they'll select Kareem Lopez from New Zealand. Now, he is when you look at his highlights, and when I'll tell you, he's a good rebounder, an 8.5 rebounds per game. That is a good rebounder, and 1.5 blocks. And I know you always don't want to go by the stats of the player. You don't always want to go by the stats. But Kareem Lopez is a good rebounder, and he's a small forward, and it'll be like a smaller kind of wing player to pair with Cam Boozer. I think, imagine that with the Grizzlies, they have Cedric Coward, Kareem Lopez, Cameron Boozer, and Zach Edey. That's a dangerous team to have. So, and we'll see what their permanent point guard option will be. Will it be Ja Morant? Who knows? 17th pick, I think the Thunder will select the next best player that didn't get picked before. I think they'll select Cameron Carr. Like I said, the Thunder don't really need much. They're already a good side. I know they lost in the conference finals to the Spurs, but that can happen. A lot of teams that have won the title the previous year slip up in the next year, losing conference finals, maybe the second round, maybe even the first round. Who knows? But the Cameron Carr will be a good shooting guard / small forward option from Baylor. Efficient player, 49.4% from the field, 18.9 points per game, 5.8 rebounds, another good rebounder in this draft. And yeah, just think more depth will be provided for the Thunder, as they already have a lot of it. Jared McCain, for example, I think he's a good enough player to start for most sides. I think if he was still my Sixers, he'd be good enough to start. But, as you know, we traded him, and now he's on the Thunder. Obviously they're not going to put Jared McCain in over Shea or, whoever they decide to put. Maybe they will start Jared McCain in the future. Who knows? Because they did start him in a few games in the playoffs. So we'll see. '18th pick. I think the 18th pick will be selected. Which will be selected by Charlotte Hornets. I think they will pick Hannes Steinbach. That is who I think they'll pick. Efficient scorer, rebounder, and shot blocker. 18.5 points per game, 11.5 rebounds per game, and 1.2 blocks. That is a good statistics right there. And comes from Washington, and he's a power forward. So, but a double-double, that's a good signing. And again, more front court. That's what the Hornets need to focus on. They need to get front court, not the back court. Their back court, I believe, is good enough, but their front court really needs work, and that is what they're going to do. I think they take 2 front court players in this first round of the draft. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys disagree with what I believe? What my prediction for what they'll pick is? Let me know. 19th, I think the Raptors will select Christian Anderson. For the reason I'm going to do a comparison between, because I think at 20th, Spurs will select Bennett Sturts. And, I think the Raptors are going to be looking into the better playmaker option. I think Christian Anderson's the better playmaker, 7.4 assists per game. Also, the 3-point shooting's there, 41.5% from 3. Comes from Texas Tech, is a point guard. Bennett Sturts will also provide that great scoring, but I also think he's a slightly better defender, maybe. And the Spurs, like I said, Spurs are another team that don't really care that much about who they get. They just want depth on their team, not really looking for something specific, because the Spurs are just a good team already. They made the finals this year. Unfortunately for them, they lost in the finals, but they should be back next year. I think they have a really good side. But let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I always like to hear your guys' feedback. 21st, I think the Detroit Pistons will select Jaden Quaintance. I'll tell you why. He comes from Kentucky, and wait a minute, let me check where I didn't provide what college Bennett Sturts has went to. Iowa. He went to Iowa. Okay, but Jaden Quaintance coming from Kentucky, and that is what the Pistons need. They need a front court option like Jaden Quaintance, a power forward / center, because I do think the Pistons have a good backcourt, but their front court needs work. Jaden Duran's a great player. I have no doubt in him, but Isaiah Stewart or Paul Reed as a backup option, I don't know about that one. I think Jaden Quaintance will be better than both of them as a backup center, but we'll see. But I think the Pistons, like I said, the Pistons' lack of the front court kind of hurt them as well. These playoffs, I think they could become a title winning side if they work on that. Cade Cunningham is a great point guard, as we know, point guard / shooting guard option. Cade Cunningham plays them both, but the front court was lacking, and Jaden Duran can't do it all alone. So I think he'll need a backup option in the future. And Isaiah Stewart or Paul Reed will not be that for them. 22nd pick. the best team. You all know them. Philadelphia 76ers. My Philadelphia 76ers. Woo! I love to talk about the Sixers, but let's get into that. I think we will select Dalen Swain. That is who I think we will select. I know a lot of people will probably disagree with that, and for my fellow Sixers fans will probably disagree with that stuff. But we definitely need the rebounding. Our rebounding is, I can't even tell you how many offensive rebounds we've allowed, especially in big moments. That is, it's just painful to watch. So we'll definitely need that in Dalen Swain. People have to start mowing the grass at this time while I'm trying to do it live. It's okay. I hope you guys can still hear me okay. But Dalen Swain rebounding and his efficiencies there, 54.2% from the field, 7.5 rebounds, comes from Texas. I do think Dalen Swain will be a great player for us. Shooting guard / small forward. Definitely good if BJ needs a rest. I think BJ Edgecombe will definitely need resting time. The Sixers, Jared McCain, obviously being traded, really hurt their backcourt options and forcing Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe to play 40 minutes. And that right there, that is not Nick Nurse's fault. Like all Sixers fans are saying, they all think it's Nick Nurse's fault. Everyone wants him fired. But, I'm Nick Nurse in, like I said. I think he should stay next season. And I hope he does stay next season. But the point is, Dalen Swain is a great pick, I think, for the Sixers. I think he'll definitely be a good option for us, a good rebounder as well. Hope not start. Obviously, obviously he won't start, but he'll definitely be a backup option, and maybe down the line he will become a starter. 23rd pick will be by the Atlanta Hawks, and I think they select Henry Visar from North Carolina. He's a very efficient center, 60% from the field. And the Hawks do need a nice sizable big man, because I don't think Onyeka Okongwu is a good enough center option for them. I do think they need a true center. And I think Henry Visar might be that guy for them. Maybe a backup center starting at, but maybe he transitions to starting center in a few years' time. 24th pick by the New York Knicks, and it doesn't really matter what they pick because they are the champions. Unfortunately, they are the champions. But they'll pick the next best player available in this draft, which will be Ibuka Okoro, a point guard from Stanford. They don't. I mean, they probably need more backcourt players than front court players, but it doesn't really matter. They are the champions, like I said, and they're not going to be overthinking and overcomplicating the draft too much. All right, let's get into our last 6 picks. First, take a sip. '25, the Los Angeles Lakers will select Allen Graves, I think. They'll select. They need a good rebounder and 3-point shooter. He's from Santa Clara, power forward. So Santa Clara, he's got that California connection. And yeah, that I think the Lakers will select him. They do need a front court player because DeAndre Ayton is DeAndre Ayton. let's say. Obviously, Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, they don't need any more backup players. My concerns, though, is how long will LeBron James be able to go? I mean, I actually think he retires this season. What do you guys think? I am curious to know what you guys think, but I do think that LeBron will retire this season. Maybe he'll try to stay a little bit longer so he can play with Bryce, but I doubt it. I think he just is going to be done after the season. But it's incredible what he's doing at his age. It really is. It is incredible what LeBron James is still capable of at 41. I think I think he's 41 years old, and he'll be 42 this coming season. That is wild that he's still putting up the numbers that he is at his age. Impressive stuff from LeBron. Still not my GOAT, though. Michael Jordan is the GOAT of basketball. End of discussion. But LeBron James is still impressive doing that stuff at that age. 26th, I think Denver Nuggets will select Isaiah Evans from Duke, small forward from Duke. Like I said, I won't really get into too much explaining for these last 5 picks. I'll just say their positions really, and I'll just do a quick explanation. Isaiah Evans will just provide more talent for the Nuggets. I've said the word depth a lot, so I'm going to use talent now. But the Nuggets, I don't think they are as talented as people say. I think they just lack a lot, and I think Jokic is constantly forced to do everything by himself, and that cannot happen like that. But they need as much talent as possible, Denver, and will they get that? Who knows? Maybe I think Jamal Murray will stay, but what about the rest of the team? That is the problem, and their bench is not that deep as well. 27th, I think the Boston Celtics will select Sergio De La Rey from Valencia, point guard / shooting guard. I think him pairing on the bench with Hugo Gonzalez, I think that Spanish connection between the two of them will already would be really good for building the chemistry for Boston. I feel, and Sergio De La Rey may be a great backup point guard / shooting guard option for the Celtics as well. But yeah, I do think that the chemistry will already be there between him and Hugo Gonzalez, and we'll see what the future holds for him. 28th pick by the T-Wolves. I think they take the next best front court player out available. I think they'll go with Koa Pete from Arizona, power forward. Not much explaining to do there. He'll probably play off. A lot of these guys will probably play off the bench. Might even be in the G League to start off. So, but maybe because maybe the Timberwolves will trade. Maybe they give up on Rudy Gobert. Who knows? But Koa Pete will definitely become a good player in the future. A lot of these players can become good. You see what Jokic has done. He's a 41st pick. So it doesn't really matter, I guess. 29th pick by the Cavs. I think they'll take Alex Caravan from UConn, small forward / power forward. Definitely need some wing talent. I think they're stacked with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen front court, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, not a long-term option for the backcourt. Max Strus might be a good shooting guard / small forward right now, but Alex Caravan would definitely provide stuff off the bench for them. And the 30th pick by the Mavs, I think they take a center here. I think they take Alex Caravan's teammate from UConn, and I think they'll take Tarris Reed Jr. as the center. The Mavericks in that need of a center option, I believe. So that's why I think they'll take him. So that is it for my mock draft. Let me know what you guys thought of that was fun to do. I loved doing a little mock draft action. Let me know what you guys thought of that. That was fun. I think I explained the players pretty well. And yeah, I'm excited for the draft. Like I said, I am really, really excited for the draft. And maybe once the draft comes around, maybe I will go live for the draft. If you guys want to see that, we'll have to see. Yeah, and like I said, I'll definitely keep you guys posted and updated of my time in Seattle. It's going to be a fun one. Watching the World Cup on Friday, USA versus Australia will be a great time. And I'll keep you guys updated about the stuff I do there. And yeah, thank you guys for hopping in for just over 50 minutes now, doing a mock draft and me having to accept the fact that the Knicks are the champions, and we have to accept that. Let me know if you guys want to see me go live for the draft, because I am considering it. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for being here for over 50 minutes now. We have 8 people in right now. This has been a really good live stream. We've had a lot of people in today. And thank you guys so much. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.